Hi, and welcome to the show.
Oh. That made me feel better.
I knew that would...
I fucked it up, and then you fucked it up.
I knew that would bother you. Just do an intro like it's written by ChatGPT. Hello, and welcome to our program. We're about entrepreneurship and dick jokes. This program is called SweatEquity.
Oh.
All right.
What?
Let's, for realsies, we have a fun guest that's a DJ turned entrepreneur of a telecom business, Peter Schroeder.
Schroeder, he talks like this the whole time.
He's like a...
Perfect impression of him. It's going to blow your mind when you hear him.
He looks like Guy Fieri's cool older brother. Listen to us on iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Spotify.
Sounds like an insult.
Give us give us a follow, subscribe. Subscribe to the YouTube page, doggies. We need those subs, as the kids call them. This episode, sponsored by Zupyak, the first search optimized AI writer. Zupyak just launched on the market. This is real AI, not like phony AI that we talk about.
Oh, we talk all about it.
But you need SEO, content creation, boom, 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 boom. Go to...
Is that what you wanted?
You know me so well.
I told you I don't take requests.
Go to Zupyak.com, promo code SWEAT. Like Keith Sweat.
Mm-hmm.
Like SweatEquity.
Yeah.
Montez
oh,
Sweat.
I got it. Yeah.
Like sweaty balls. And are you ready to get this show started?
Yes, please. And this.
Howdy.
It's called SweatEquity.
Listening to the SweatEquity podcast.
There you go.
Oh, wow.
Oh, is this better?
Yeah.
Way better.
I didn't
Even
see
than ours.
I didn't see the mic.
Let me just turn it up a little bit. There we go.
We're going. We go live on tape. Unless you need a minute.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty much ready. Let me just see here.
Hair looks good.
Jealous.
Good. Okay. That's the most important. Then we're good.
Yeah, I'm jealous. That's
Actually, let me just full screen you guys so I can see you better.
That's fine.
There we go.
I mean, you may not want to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I take that back.
So we let, this is very charitable of us. We let the guests do their own plugs at the top of the episode because I can't read out loud and I mess them all up. So,
and I just don't want it.
Go for it, Peter. Where can people find you? What are you about? Real quick.
PeterSchroeder.com is my website. There's links to everything in there and social media and email and all that jazz. And my company, that's Telzio, Telzio.com, Telzio. That's it.
And you're the rare creative that's entrepreneurial, like real entrepreneurial business wise. Not like you're a Instagram model.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. But you have a real life business. Well, there's people that say they're entrepreneurs and it's like, you own a hair salon. That's not the same thing. I mean, technically, yes.
That's a bad example.
I mean, technically, yes. But I'm saying like.
Go back to the Instagram.
Yeah.
idea.
I basically affiliate market and get in-kind payments for whatever
landed on my doorstep.
Yeah. But you got a real business with, I think I always find it interesting, anybody who does those two worlds, because we kind of live that life a little bit. The professional, we have comedy in this show kind of outside of that. But we ask everybody when they come on the show for the first time, these two questions. Did you listen to the podcast before coming on the show?
I actually did.
Oh,
okay.
I listened to all of them.
Okay, this is gonna go. This is gonna go well.
We'll see. If you listen to all of them,
He's here. Yeah, that's
even the hemorrhoid ones.
yeah. There was a
That was a big story arc
There was
for me personally.
Oh, remember the arc of me asking you every episode about your vasectomy?
Yep, that
So,
was another arc of dealing with my nether regions. Yeah,
And because I was
But that was also why I felt like I was so much in touch with you guys, and I just had to. So yeah.
well, there you go.
good. Yes, and the other question we ask is, what advice would you give your 13-year-old self?
Just keep going. You're doing it right. There's,
Were you
just
stopping a
keep
lot?
trucking. I feel like I definitely people try to stop me a lot,
Mm.
but I'm one of those those little toys that just like fall over and just bounce back up and just like almost a little dumb. I would call myself. Some of the things I do, I probably shouldn't. But it turns out that it kind of works for the better at the end. But yeah, I just do what I feel like is good.
Well, can you elaborate on that in terms of what you've done that you
Well,
probably shouldn't, but you don't regret it?
I mean, start a freaking phone company. On cash in your wife's 401k and start a phone company for that, and think you can compete against AT&T.
At 13? We're talking the scenario is you go back in time to your 13-year-old self.
No, he gets it.
Okay.
He gets it. No, he's
Okay.
just, I'm asking for examples 13 and forward. It doesn't really matter.
Okay. Well, the 401k threw me
You
off.
will not be docked points for that.
I look, his hair is so coiffed. I always
You're mesmerized. You're
guys-
not paying attention.
guys with a little silver
It's
going
CGI.
on. Well, we're jealous. Mine's on its last hurrah.
Yeah.
I'm
I'm jealous of the technical expertise to
I do
pull that
also
off.
spend a lot of time in the morning, like sitting it, like at least 15 seconds.
Hey, bud, you didn't have to
Okay,
tell
we
us
didn't
that.
need
We
to
like
hear
the
that.
we like the smoke.
That you are getting
I
dock
know.
points for
I'm
that.
just doing it to make it feel bad.
So where are you at right now? You are you're international. You're from Denmark, correct?
Yeah.
Are you
But I'm in Los Angeles now.
Los Angeles? Nice.
Mhm.
How's the homeless out there? Nice, fun, tent city.
Yeah.
Is it crazy? I don't know.
No, not really. I mean, I've been here for 10 years now, and all I do is go between my house and the office, and that's pretty much it. I just had twin babies 2 years ago, so
Oh,
that
oh,
just
yeah,
doesn't allow
yeah.
for going out or anything like that anymore.
yeah.
Twins, yikes.
Yeah, you're in the
Mhm.
the quicksand years.
You never got to play man to man.
Yeah.
Zone right from the start.
It's a soccer reference.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it works.
I get soccer.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm
No.
from Europe.
It transcends many sports.
Well, talk to us about being a DJ.
Uh-huh.
How do you get into being a DJ? One that gets paid, I'm guessing. Like,
Right. And what are you doing back there?
We don't
with
know
your
this whole
hands?
world.
What are you?
I have the hack question of like, do you just press the space bar and let it go? But that's
Yeah,
kind of a hack
that's it.
opinion. I'm sure there's a lot more work to it. But
No, that's pretty much it. But
But
I
before-
don't know
it's
how
before you
you,
get
But
there,
you got to
right?
push it at the right time.
well, I think it's all preparation though, right? Before you go in there.
no, you just press space.
Okay.
No, it's
Well, it's been a
fucking
good
easy.
interview. See ya.
No, I would say I started. I found out I wanted to be a DJ when I was 9 years old and saw some dude at a school dance, playing music for kids, and I was like, that's so freaking cool that he can just make people jump around just by playing some songs. So I knew I was gonna do that. So just started playing at my friends' birthday parties with 2 cassette tape players, and eventually
really?
I turned 18. I was allowed to come into a club and play there, and I got my first gig, and then slowly from there.
Yeah,
Huh.
I was always thinking your origin had to be like the old school turntables where you got to
Yeah.
go back and forth.
I mean, every
yeah.
party has the designated DJ.
yeah,
Not professionally.
And that's usually how it starts, right? That designated DJs.
Yeah.
When it goes on and gets real jobs. Yeah.
I never thought of it like that. So wait, are you doing like when you're DJing behind the turntable? Or do you have turntables? Do you like when
yeah.
you're performing the work? What do you have to do? Is it really just push the space bar? Am I missing something? I see people doing stuff, moving the little thingies up and down and all that, but I don't know what's going on.
Well, so I'm of the old generation, and I'm a DJ for the sake of DJing, not so much for being in the spotlight. Back then, when I started out, the DJ was one you put in the corner, and there was no light on him. It was just like kind of hid away. If they could put him in the back room, they would do that. And I got into it because I just like the music and I like playing for people and giving them a good experience. But what you see today is much more the opposite. It's about seeing someone. It's an Instagram model, really. It's about who has the most followers. Those are the ones that get the gigs. That has changed a lot since. I haven't played a professional gig for 10 years now. I unofficially stopped when I started my company, but it has changed a lot. And back when the way I play is really more about just feeling the crowd and watching them and making sure and improvising really and figuring I've never prepared a gig for in my life. It's all just like whatever I feel like in the moment. But the new kids are literally have like a playlist, like it is like just pressing space pretty much.
Yeah, it's a
New
lot of
generation.
like light work.
Right.
Like
Mhm.
because you can't really do much behind on that
You
pedestal.
better be
Well,
dancing.
you
like
can.
they're like the old porn stores where they had the owner of the store used to be
Right.
like way high up
Yeah.
to see everybody, and like, don't go in the beaded section. That's not for you.
No, but you can definitely do a lot. I mean, if you're a real DJ, you're busy constantly. You're doing all kinds of little things, and I usually only play a minute and a half of each song. So there's a kind of tempo going on, especially when there's nothing prepared.
What music are we talking? House? Is that do you even say house anymore?
Danish house?
Danish house?
There are all kinds of things, really. I also
Rammstein?
produce music. That was just all over the place. But yeah, electronic music mainly. But it expands a little bit wider than that, I think.
Hey man, a little Chemical Brothers every now and again.
Oh yeah.
Smack my bitch up.
Yeah, it's good for running.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So you're a creative engineer, which is, and I've never heard that title, but it makes sense. It's one of those things where it's like, oh yeah, that definitely exists. Not like, I'm not saying like you're like, I'm the CEO of Happy Days, like how they do that. Some people have that on titles on LinkedIn and stuff. Creative engineer caught my eye in your bio. How do you get into starting there is a Portlandia episode about starting a phone company.
Oh yeah.
That is genius because they try to get all their friends. It's
Yeah,
like
you're number 2.
you can never do this.
Right.
Right? It's like the barrier to entry is crazy to get into communications just to have a company that can compete. How did you get into this?
How did I get into this? I needed it myself, really. I had another project I was working on, and I needed like a support line for people to call, and there was nothing I could afford, and it was easy to set up and manage and all that. So I'm like, okay, I'll just code it myself, no problem. And while I was doing that, I had so much fun, and I just kind of now I have a little product here I can actually put online and see if someone signs up, and I posted about it. So it's really been just about like creating a product that's cool for people to use, and not so much about going out and competing, because there's no way we could compete in the beginning at least. And then as we kind of grow, we get a couple of customers in here and there, and then they ask for new features, and I built them, and then they attracted more bigger customers, and eventually Facebook and Samsung and Airbnb signed up, and it's really just about slowly the small steps and getting it that way. We've never spent $1 on advertising, for example. It's just been completely organic.
Maybe I need to. So it's for the layman. What's the elevator pitch for? Excuse me if I mess this up because I can't read. Telzio.
Telzio.
God, I'm so bad.
Mhm.
God, I'm so stupid. Fucking idiot.
I'm winning the podcast.
Yeah.
Points wise.
Yeah. We keep score behind the scenes. So it's for businesses that need. It's not VoIP, right? It's
It
in
is
the
VoIP,
cloud.
yeah.
It's VoIP. Okay.
Yeah, what's the differentiator?
Well, everything is VoIP today.
Right. But if you have a small business out there, this is a great product for your phone. I might need to switch. I need to get rid of my business line to get something better. So I might be a customer pretty soon.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it is really just any business that needs to talk to their customers in some kind of way. That's the elevator pitch. It's
you kind of skipped over the one part where you're like, I just coded it myself, no big deal. Like it was like, like crocheting. Like one night, just like, yeah, I needed a sweater, no big deal.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a nerd. I'm a big old nerd. I made my first website when I was 14, back in '98, and sold it eventually. So it's like,
oh damn,
Wow.
I have this entrepreneurial thing that I can't help, and I have to play with things. I have major ADD, so I have to just do things that I think is fun, and that happens to be coding. It started that really early on. I've always done that. Even when I made music, I was making my own plugins for the programs I made the music in. So it's not really that different for me for being in the music industry and making music to coding a phone company or a phone service or platform. Um, the whole creative engineer, I think, is a weird thing that people think that engineers and coders are people that sit in a basement and just
Yeah,
really good at math.
robots.
I mean, I'm horrible at math.
But you're
I
good
mean,
at
the best
logic.
engineers I've ever, logic. But the
That's
best
math.
engineers I know, you could say that.
Math is everything.
But I would say,
if
like,
we get high enough, I'll
I know. What are you
expand.
talking about, man? We're all math.
Yeah.
I would say the best engineers I know are all really, really creative people. You have to be super creative to make something new, rather than just following the book and being told what to code.
Well, I heard something that kind of it changed my perception of the word creative, because creative always gets lumped into like you're artsy, you're
Or you create something out of nothing.
so that it's more of
that's
that.
what you
But a lot in the business world, when they say creative, they don't say it. It's almost like a disparaging at a certain point.
Right.
The higher you go, they're like,
Oh,
yeah,
he's not coming to the meeting.
we'll
He's a
just get those
creative.
creative
You know,
hacky
they are.
sackers, to figure it
Yeah.
out. But it's one of those things where someone spun it on me. It's the creative can be the ability to create solutions.
Exactly what my point
Right,
was. Is
right.
like creative problem solving,
Yeah. So
which is probably much more geared for engineers and that like.
you're puzzle based. Is that fair to say?
That's a great way to say it.
Yeah. I was in a job interview when my ex-wife was forcing me to get a full-time job, and I just did fake interviews. I was just like, yeah, I'll do this if you shut up for like 3 weeks. Because I had my own company, and I was like, if you just get out of the way, everything will be a lot better.
All right, stay on track.
But I went in, and someone reflected this back to me. They're like, you see everything as a puzzle. And I was like, oh, yeah.
What do you
I
mean by
guess.
that?
No, I was like, damn, I've never thought of it that way. And I feel like I can see it with a lot of people, because it's like, you're talking about you have ADD. Do you feel like you're able to hone that ADD like correctly? I feel like people go, I have ADD, ADHD, and I'm all over the place kind of thing. And it's like, I think you can really hone it if you're really interested in what you're doing.
No doubt. That's the thing. It's a superpower to me. It's all about knowing it and understanding how to deal with it, and getting your wife or partner to deal with it as well, and figure out how to, because that can be the hard part. But to me, it's a superpower, and it's really just about understanding which things I'm good at and what I'm interested in, and then finding someone else around me that are good at the things I'm not interested in, because those are never gonna get done. Even if I sat down for a million years and tried, it's not gonna get done. So it's just about understanding that, and then it becomes a superpower, because then you can really go to the bottom of that rabbit hole and start digging for more, and really get really, really, really good at certain things. And
Yeah, I think about a lot of people that have ADD that race cars. They can really hone it in.
Yeah,
because,
you better.
Yeah.
Well,
500 miles. What?
But
Why do they gotta go so far?
There is so much going on that it kind of is to their best, kind of best use, right, for their kind of brain.
That's what I was saying with the DJing, and I play a minute and a half of each song.
Yeah.
Constantly. I mean, I usually have 4 records going at the same time, because there's so much going on that I get stimulated by that.
Right, and you're like in the zone where most people would get overwhelmed. Yeah.
Exactly.
So what I want to go back to this website when you're 14. Is that what you said? How old?
Yeah.
That's when you had to code websites like from the ground up.
Right. There was no Squarespace.
Oh yeah.
There's no WordPress
Offer
yet.
code sweat.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. There's no there's no CMS content management system like it is drag and drop today, or plugin system today. You had to really code it. What was the website, and how much did you get paid?
The website was a Danish, basically social media platform before there was social media for artists.
Zuckerberg got your shit,
was, like for
or Tom from MySpace.
for kids that wanted to draw and paint. I have some friends that were really good at that, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna make a website so you can put that online, because that's what you do now. It's internet time. And then
Kinda wanna get that sound up.
And eventually I sold it to
How much though?
Or is it
don't
going to be
remember. It was a
in
lot
Danish
compared
marks and
to
we
when
won't
you're
know?
18 and just moved from home.
Okay, that's a good amount. But so you've been entrepreneurial from jump. What did your parents do?
My mom was an engineer and my dad was a drummer.
Well, there you go. That was easy.
Yeah.
We figured it out.
Survey says.
Yeah.
So so back to your company, you've had it for 10 years, right? Massive competition in this sector, I would say. Talk to us about kind of scaling up. You know, how does I talk to a lot of small, medium business owners or executives, and I kind of get ahead of this. I try to talk to them about their work-life balance because a lot of them are just overwhelmed, and the reason I'm there is because they're trying to grow, but they got too many things going on. What advice would you have anybody listening out there about scaling? I know you just
I don't
kind
know.
of
Can you give me some advice?
huh? Well, you
Yeah,
did,
it might
Decent
still be
advice on
just
that.
him
That
in the
sounds great.
company. We didn't really.
well,
get
you
to
did
that.
just say you still have to scale, but I'm saying like you said
Yeah.
something earlier. You know what you're not good at, and we say on this show a lot.
Yeah.
Know what you don't know, right? And then the action
Yeah.
of that is find the people to delegate those things to. You know, how can you talk to us about that kind of stuff? Like, how do you deal with that with twins
So,
Oh yeah.
the
and twins? That's the Coolers like
well, so
commercial.
the interesting
riff.
thing is, like
I got it.
like I touched on earlier. Sorry.
Sorry.
The interesting thing is like you touched on earlier. Like we never spent money on advertising. We just kind of grew very organically. We found out early on that we couldn't raise money. One thing was I had just started dating my wife back then, and we started a company together. So hey, who's going to invest in that? And the other
Ladies
thing
be
is,
shopping.
we're going into a market no one will, basically touch because it's just dominated by these big players. So we had to figure out what do we do next? Well, we can buy ads. No, we can't because those are $700 per click on Google in our space. So the math adds up. You can go out and buy a customer that way if you pay enough because they stay around for so and so long and so on. But we didn't have that money up front either. So we had to just get really, really good at SEO. And I went to the bottom of that rabbit hole and slowly over the years got, first place on Google for certain keywords that our competitors are buying, like paying a lot of money for. And that's how we've been able to kind of grow. And that's just been a really slow moving thing. And it's kind of like a train that slowly gets up to speed. But we're kind of starting to see that up to, well, not starting to, we have been seeing that for a while now. But for the first many years, I mean, I did customer service and tech support for the first 2-3 years, and before we could even hire the first employee.
Oof. So you're all in. You said you gave up DJing. This was the all in thing.
All in. I'm always all in. I never do anything half. And that also backfires. Sometimes I've been evicted twice when I was in my early 20s, and like I don't do anything half. It has to be full, and it has to be extreme. Otherwise, it's not fun for me.
You didn't get half evicted. Come on, man.
I don't know. Can you?
Can you keep some of my stuff in there, and I'll just sleep outside?
Just you'd be here on Mondays and Tuesdays.
Well, how would you do it? Chop them in half?
One part of the bio sheet we got talked about. One thing that really stuck out was gratitude. It said you're a big proponent of that. You're big on kind of putting that out there. Can you talk to us about gratitude in the kind of business world? I think it's a very underrated thing, and it doesn't take a lot of effort.
Yeah, no, I totally. So the way I kind of put it is I'm very much into solidarity and making sure that people kind of have the same the same playing field and being able to compete from the beginning. That kind of comes from what I was what I experienced when I started this company. Is like, well, we have no money. We are playing against these big guys. So for me, this whole thing, for example, you have what they call the enterprise plans with a lot of SaaS products out there, and that's only the big guys can pay for, and then you get these features that make them able to compete. Like that's just backwards. It should be the small guys that get those features, and the big guys have to fight for them, or something like that. So for me, it's like I'm trying to just make things kind of even, and then make sure that everyone kind of has the same cards dealt from the beginning, and then we can play from there. I'm all about business and being able to compete and all that, and doing well for yourself. But you have to kind of have the same cards from the beginning, so we have equal, rights or whatever you want to call it.
That's interesting. I never thought about it in a SaaS, software as a product or software as a service. For those out there who don't know the acronym, I wasn't even thinking that was an option when we were talking about gratitude. As like you see gratitude in the product. I was thinking almost intrapersonal kind of relationships or vendor relationships kind of thing.
Well, this way it's outward.
No, it's
This
no,
way
I've
is
never
even
heard
better,
that.
I think.
No, it's interesting.
You know?
It's like I didn't even. I think of that with some products maybe, but not with SaaS or an app or software, whatever you want to call it. That's interesting. By features,
Yeah, and it's one of those things that you see a lot, and luckily, I think there's a lot of more companies now that have started introducing just pay for the service and you have all the features. That's what we did when we started out 10 years ago. And in the beginning, we had to really explain it to everyone. And like, why is it better that I pay per minute and per text rather than an all-you-can-eat thing? Well, now people kind of start to understand why that's better, and we don't really have to explain it so much anymore. There's more and more companies that kind of introduce this model, and I think it's amazing.
Yeah. You got anything?
Well, I could see that. I mean, I could see that, like, people don't like to have different bills every day. They like to be able to budget things and know exactly what it's going to be. That is crazy, though. How does that work? You couldn't have just an even lower level, like, that would offer everything, that would still be, that somehow the math would work out that it's cheaper per text or call? Or did you do the math on that where it's like, that's not worth it?
Yeah, I feel like the phone companies have been really, really good at explaining over the years why you should have this all-you-can-eat plan or this unlimited calling plan, which is way more expensive than if you just paid for the actual calls you make by far. So what we did was we just went in and say, okay, you pay for the minutes, and then you can create all the users, you have all the features, all of that stuff. Because for us, the more users you add to the plan, the more you'll be calling. And the more features we add to give you, the more you'll be using our platform and the more money we make. So it just makes sense for us to do that. It's not like it's a bad business for us, but it is cheaper for the end users at the end of the day. Not by a lot, but to a point where it is definitely, like, you can see that it's cheaper.
Yeah, y'all's pricing model is interesting from the outside kind of looking in. It's on your website, it's pricing for businesses of all sizes and only pay for what you use, no user fees or startup costs. Yeah. And then you only have two options, really. You got small business and you got enterprise. And most people would do the psychological game of like, let's get three columns. We want them to get that middle one, or let's get 5 and hope they get that third or fourth one. And it's really kind of a shell game almost.
Right. They do the thing where it's like they list all the things.
Right.
And there's 5 columns. The first, they're all the same up until here. And then you have to keep scrolling to see all the other stuff at the bottom.
And your pricing is $50, not $49.99.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, you're not playing any of the psychological games on there.
It's refreshing.
We are not. Well, so actually, I would say the reason why we have enterprise on there in the first place is really not because enterprise is our target customer. It's not at all. It's because our target customer is a little bit bigger than, or our ideal customer, if you will, is a little bit bigger than small business. So we have a lot of startups as our customers, again, because it scales really well, the pricing. But we also have a lot of business with 500 to 1,000 employees and up. But those ones wouldn't sign up if we just wrote small business on our site. So we put enterprise on there to essentially show that it's for everyone.
I turn into Larry David complaining when I think about what people classify as small business or a medium business or large corporate enterprise business. Like, we can't come up with something. Like, everybody's definition's different.
Yeah.
Look, fucking Amex does Small Business Saturday, and it shows like a barista coffee shop in Portland, and you're like,
do what you love.
That's a local business. That's I wouldn't classify that as a small business, but technically it is a small business. So you got us on the marketing there.
Small business is a very encompassing term.
Right. I would call it
Yep.
a local
Like,
business.
are you Nestle? You're a small business then.
Are you? Yeah. Are you conglomerate that controls our food?
Yes. Hey, thanks for explaining the joke.
Yeah. I was trying to yes and you. It was pretty weak. I just thought I'd echo it. Peter, before we get out of here, any last words? Anything? This has been a silly kind of interview from our side, but talk to us about AI, because AI. We are I don't want to speak for Eric, but my thought is AI is the most fucked out term in marketing right now. It is like everything.
Just a stickler for terminology.
I know, but everything. I think you have to define what AI is. It has to have some AI element actually to it. It's like keto. You can put keto on fucking whatever you want. So like everything's keto.
Well, I think it's spot on what you're saying. It has to be called something, and AI is a good
How does
term
he know? He's from
that
Denmark.
we have to have.
He's in LA, bruh.
Doesn't matter. Anyway,
Wait.
Sorry to interrupt.
Say that again. Apologize.
I was just saying, like you have to call it something, and I think AI is just a very easily to understand term for people that are not necessarily into computers or in AI and stuff like that. So we can't call it ChatGPT or even say those things out. The whole thing, like we have to call it something. And now this is just a label that kind of was slapped on there by the media, I guess. And now we have to live with that. So when real AI comes around, there will be another word for that.
Yeah, I think it has to be defined as like it learns upon itself, like it learns on its own from experience or whatever you want to call it, from use case.
But it doesn't really. I mean, that's machine learning, and we've done that for years.
Right.
It's not like
synthetic intelligence.
Right. You don't just stick it in a white room and it's like, oh, you'll figure it out.
No,
you got to feed it something.
Yeah, it has to have prompts.
Yeah.
But it has to have input from someone, right? But over time,
no, I mean that's the.
But machine learning doesn't sound
AI
cool.
is amazing. What we have now is we got some new tools that we haven't had before that are all of a sudden available for everyone, and we're seeing all these different applications being built on top of it. I mean, we're doing that ourselves. We've been waiting for this to happen for I don't know. I think we registered AIattendant.com back in 2017. We knew it was like gonna happen eventually. Kind of just been waiting for the technology to be ready. And now it is, and we see all these companies building new stuff on top of these engines that are being released by different companies, and they're just getting smarter and smarter, like day by day almost, right? So I think it's fun. There's a lot of stuff that's going to happen over the next year. I mean,
no, it's really
Joe Biden called me, dude.
Yeah,
I tell you that Joe Biden called me.
Oh,
I did not vote, Mr. President.
Hey,
I did not vote.
Hey, Eric.
It was really cool.
Hey.
Let me talk back.
I want to touch the back of your head.
Was the Biden?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey man, I never tried it. I know. I feel like there is a lot of cool stuff for sure. Don't get me wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like it's one of those things where you got a lot of hucksters coming in as quick as possible.
Yep.
I'm on a lot of newsletters for these AI apps because I just want to see what's coming out. If there's anything that helps me, like those newsletters, like there's an AI for that. Or drink the robot juice is another one.
Ew.
Yeah, but I do it so I can kind of see. I want to keep a little bit of my eyes on what's going on, but I will look at a lot of them and they're like complete garbage. Like there's just like they're putting stuff out too quickly, which might be good if we were scared of AI taking over humanity. So eventually, not feeling it.
That's probably going to happen. Who knows? But,
right. What are we going to do about
same
it?
as the App Store.
Hey, that's my kids' grandkids' problem. I'm not.
No, it's not. It's your kids.
No.
Okay, well,
let the robots figure it out for us, guys.
Oh yeah, use AI to combat AI.
The digital overlords.
Yeah, it's a real Ouroboros situation there. Anything else we didn't cover?
I don't know, man.
I don't know. Anything on your
mind?
It's a snake that eats its own tail, dog. You watch Loki. Come on.
Oh, sorry, I didn't do the YouTube explainer videos.
It was a reach, but
it was complicated though.
It brings the show to a complete stop.
Oh. Our show?
What's this
Or
word?
Loki?
This show.
Oh, okay. We're doing a show right now.
Yeah.
I forgot.
This is a show.
My bad.
Well, Peter, thanks for coming on. This was one of the sloppier interviews from our side, I know, but
What?
well, it didn't feel that way to
Thank you
you.
for having me. This was fun.
Well, appreciate
Yeah,
it.
fun.
And, if you got other stuff coming down the pike, let us know, and we'll have you back on, man.
For sure. Happy to.
All right, brother.
Thanks.
See ya.